Okay, welcome everyone to the financial management revision. I hope I am audible and the screen is visible. Let me just quickly check that. Just a moment. Okay, I think the feed seems to be proper. Okay, so let's start. I am Paritosh Panchal and I've been teaching FM and AFM, that is Financial Management and Advanced Financial Management, to ACCA students for the past 6 years. I'm very passionate about helping students. It's like one of my purpose in life that I help people to achieve their education dreams. Okay. I teach with an institute called Lakshya, the Indian Institute of Commerce. It is India's #1 commerce institute. Lakshya is also a certified, platinum certified learning partner with the ACCA institute. Okay. Uh, at Lakshya, we have consistently produced rankers. So you know how good we are. We work very hard to ensure that our students clear in the very first attempt, not only clear, but also get ranks. Other than ACCA, at Lakshya, we also teach CMA US, CA, CS, BCom, whole gamut. It's like a one-stop solution for anything related to commerce. We have different modes of education. So there is offline, which is a physical class, the traditional way. Now, since COVID, people have preferred online. Also, it's very helpful because those of you who are working and learning ACCA, for them, online or even hybrid medium is more preferred. Hybrid is basically a mix of online and recordings. Okay, so you can watch, if you missed the online session, well, you have recordings available. You can watch it later. Okay. Now, in this revision, what is our plan? Okay, how do we plan on taking this ahead? Wait, actually, let me just enter the full screen mode. Mm, just a moment. Yeah. Okay. So, what is our plan? This is going to be a 5-day revision session, fifth, as in today being included. So, 4 more sessions after today. We'll be teaching one topic, or we'll be discussing one topic, which is a very important topic in investment appraisal, that is NPV and IRR, most commonly asked topic in the exam. So there's a high probability you will be asked a question on it. Thus, we'll be discussing that, or we are just going to quickly revise that topic. Then we are also going to solve 3 type C questions. So typically type C questions come from 3 chapters or 3 topics: investment appraisal, working capital, and cost of capital. Okay, so we'll be solving one question each, so you get some practice. And we will also be solving 2 mock papers, so 1 mock per day. Okay, so 2 mocks, 2 days, type C questions, 3 days. One day will be in topic discussion, and today is about tips and exam tricks and getting you familiar with the platform, all of that. Okay, this is a little bit about ACCA. Those of you who are not aware of what ACCA is, well, it is the CA of UK. Okay, has a lot of global recognition. And even if you are an Indian CA, to get global opportunities, it would be a good idea to upskill yourself with ACCA. Okay. In fact, Indian CAs also get 9 papers as exemption. So you just have to give 4 papers and then you will clear it off. And you get one additional degree very simply. Okay. So those of you who do not have an exemption, first is the applied knowledge. So there are 3 topics or 3 subjects in that. Then you have applied skills, so there are 9. And then any 2, this is like your specialization, your professional skill level paper. Okay, so any 2 you can select based on what you have been scoring in your applied skills and applied knowledge papers. So based on that, you can select where do you want to specialize in, or maybe your interest. Okay. Exams are conducted every quarterly. So you have now this attempt which is coming up is in September. Next attempt will be in December, so on and so forth. Okay. So every 3 months, every quarter, you will have a exam. So four exams, four attempts available for you. You can select whichever, and you can do it in any chronological order. As in, say for example, if you want to give tax first and then you want to give FM, or you want to give FM paper first and then want to give tax, it's up to you. So you have that flexibility under ACCA. Okay, the pass percentage is pretty good. Around 50% people clear the exam. So 50, 51%, 50, 55, that's the range. Okay, that many people clear the exam. So the passing percentage is good. It is a professional degree. It is well respected and recognized globally in commerce field, okay, or in finance field. Now, about financial management, this whole thing what we are doing is focused mainly on financial management. Okay, what is the paper pattern going to be like? Well, it is going to be a 3-hour paper, and it is a computer based paper. Okay, it's not paper and pen. ACCA Institute believes to train their every individual very practically and make them work ready. So when you work, eventually you will be using computers. Okay, so they want to familiarize you with computer systems from the get go. Okay, so though it is a basic paper, but still it will be a computer based exam. 3 hours, and you will get 10 minutes to read through instructions. So before you start the exam, there will be certain instructions, how to navigate, what all tools are available, best practices, certain other instructions will be available. You have 10 minutes to read through. Okay, keep in mind you need not by heart formulas. Most of the formulas are given to you in a formula sheet. There will be a few formulas that you may have to study, okay, but they are very few. Majority of the important formulas are given to you in the exam sheet. Okay, what the ACCA Institute wants is you to understand things, not to become a calculator, because there are calculators to do that calculation. Okay, so when you even work, okay, say you are in an research analyst, there are financial models already made in spreadsheets for you. You just have to put in the variable and it will automatically calculate. You need not remember any formula even in real world. And even if you forgot a formula, you in real world you can always Google it. So therefore, the institute provides you with formula, does not expect you to by heart or memorize these formulas. Okay. But what is important is the analysis part. Understanding what do these calculated figures mean and how can it be applied? What impact does it have? That is what the ACCA Institute is trying to test. It is a very practical exam. It is not something, traditionally in our college or schools, we have a habit of memorizing things and then just reproducing the same in the exam paper. Okay, ACCA is different. It's application based, right? How is the paper pattern going to be? The entire paper, 100-mark paper, going to be divided into 3 sections. So section A is 15-mark, or rather 15 questions, 2 marks each. So that's 30 marks over there. Okay. They are all MCQ, as in multiple choice questions. They can be either based on calculations or they can be based on theory questions. It could be anything and it could be focused on any topic. So the entire syllabus can be asked under section A. Then comes section B. Under section B, there are 3 case studies, sort of small case studies. Okay. And related to these case studies, there are 5 questions. Again, MCQ, that is multiple choice questions. Okay, now out of these 5 questions, 2 or 3 questions will be theory and the balance will be calculation. Okay, again, anything, any topic from the syllabus can be asked. So you need to learn the entire syllabus. You cannot skip any topic. Okay. The last section, that is section C, has a 20 mark. Okay. Now a 20 mark. Now there will be actually two 20 mark questions. So 30 plus 30. The first section A is 30, section B is 30, so 60, and then the balance 20 marks, that will be two questions again, so that's 40. So section C, 20 mark questions. Now this 20 mark question will be, now the institute has given on which topics will these questions focus from. So the most important topic from section C point of view will be your working capital management. Okay. So all the elements of working capital, whether it's receivables management, debtor management, inventory management, cash management, your working capital ratios, all of that. Investment appraisals. So techniques, different techniques of investment appraisals. So you have your payback, ROCE, IRR, NPV. Okay, all these techniques, a payback period, discounted payback period, all these techniques. Then how to identify cash flow, relevant cash flow, how to make adjustments in terms of inflation, taxation, depreciation impacts, then your lease versus buying the asset, asset replacement, then all of that, you know. So when you, I'm sure you would have studied, or if you are going to study, then all these things will be covered. So investment appraisal as a topic, okay, as a whole, and business finance. So business finance includes cost of capital. So calculating the cost of equity, cost of debt, finding out the weighted average cost of capital, that is WACC. Okay, then adjusting betas, then sources of finance, what is the proper debt to equity structure. So all of that comes under business finance. Okay. Section A, as we already discussed, section A and B can be from any topic, but section C will focus on these three primary topics. Right. So this is the syllabus, just an overview. So section A and B, that is financial management function and financial management environment, are majorly theory-based topics. Okay. They can be tested in section A and B. Section C, D, and E, that is working capital management, investment appraisal, and business finance, are the most important topics because a very high probability that they will be asked in section C. So 20 mark question from there. So just by studying these three topics, you have a chance to earn 40 marks. Okay, just by doing three topics. Therefore, in brackets, I've written these are the most important topics. Other than that, business valuation and risk management are also important. Now, business valuation, risk management are more tested in depth in AFM syllabus. Okay, however, they form the base, right? So they are going to test you on that, and therefore they are also important. Okay, business valuation and risk management has some calculations also involved along with theory, whereas the first two section, A and B, are majorly theory driven. And the last section, that is employability and technological or technology skills. Well, this is not really anything to learn, as in it won't be, you won't get a particular question from it, but it is just trying to, make you job ready, so that when you are being employed and you have to work on computer systems, so you are aware of all the at least the basic softwares. Okay, because the spreadsheet on the CBE platform is very similar to Microsoft Excel. The word processor is very similar to Microsoft Word. Okay, so these tools are very frequently used in an office scenario when you are employed. So the ACCA Institute has is trying its level best to make you employability or employee ready. Okay, to equip you with the right technological know-how. So as I said, nothing much to study per se in section H. You will not be asked question, but indirectly you are using, because when you are giving the answer, you are going to use the spreadsheet to do certain calculations. You are going to use the spreadsheet for say NPV calculation. So you can use built-in functions like is equal to NPV and arrive at the NPV calculation, is equal to IRR. So you need not do a big calculation for IRR, which you used to do in your graduation level probably. But in ACCA, there are functions for IRR, NPV. So you just have to put in the formula, select the variables, and get the answer. Okay. Trust me, computer based exam is very easy. Okay. It is to help you. Do not feel intimidated by it. Now, the study plan. I believe so. Today is 16th of August, so we have around 15 days, give or take, for the month end. That is 31st August. Yeah, actually, exactly 15 days. Okay, 15 days for this month to end, and September is the paper for FM. I think it's on 8th of September. So you have around 7 days also before the exam. So you have 15 days plus 7 days more of September. Now, even if you are at 10% currently, okay, say you are giving the September attempt and you have attended the classes, and through classes and everything, it has brought you to 10 to 15% already. Okay. It is still not late if you start today. Within 15 days, you can complete the entire portion of FM. Okay. Maybe enough, not maybe, but enough to clear the paper easily. But you need to work hard. You need to dedicate at least 7 hours a day for the next 15 days, and you can easily clear the exam. So let me run you through the plan. Okay. So most important topics, the three topics that we saw. So working capital management, your cost of capital, sources of capital, that is business finance. Okay. And your investment appraisal, all the various techniques, then simulation, not simulation, as in simulation is part, but sensitivity analysis, all of that. Okay. So these three topics. Now, how to go about it in just 6 days? So, three topics, give 2 days per topic. How are you going to split it? Do now you have your practice kit or exam kit, okay, of whichever publication you are following. Do or if you are a student of Lakshya, you know these questions, okay. So do three type C questions. So the big type of question per topic. So say, for example, investment appraisal, look at your exam kit, okay, and practice the three latest questions that are there available in the book, okay. Then do maybe two type B questions and do as many type A questions as possible, okay. So this is how you will do each topic. Now, if you have more time, you can obviously devote more time to section B questions as well. But this is keeping in mind that there is a time constraint of just 15 days to prepare. Okay. So this is how you can prepare for the three most important topics. Moving on, the two important topics. Okay. So which is your foreign exchange, and which was the other one? That is as in risk management, which is foreign exchange management and foreign exchange risk management and interest rate risk management and business valuation. Okay. These two topics again spend 2 days each. You can now these two topics, mostly type C questions are not asked. So practice for as many type B and type A questions as possible in these 2 days. Okay. The balance other two topics, you can take 1 day each, and you can so section A and section B, that is topic A and topic B, that financial management function and financial management environment. These two you could devote one day each and read about that, probably section A type of questions. And section B, well, you won't get entirely section B, but a part of it. Like, so in section B, suppose there's a case study from wherein you will be asked maybe one question from one of the two topics and other questions from the important topics or the most important topics. Okay. And then spend 3 days doing theory. Now, I know a lot of students are, I don't know whether they are scared of theory or what reason it is. They just don't get theory. Maybe it's vast. That is why they tend to skip theory. I request to you, please do theory. Do not ignore theory. A major chunk of the paper is theory based. Around 40 to 50% is theory. So you do not want to skip theory. That would be a matter of passing and failing, because see, you learned all the calculations, but it is very difficult to achieve 100% perfection. That whatever, say for example, if there is a 50-50 split, okay, if you have completely ignored theory and done full focus on your calculation based questions, out of 50 marks, maybe you will earn 45. And since you don't know theory, you won't earn much over there. And there are chances you would fail. Okay, so do not ignore theory. In some time, we'll discuss how to go about the theory, because I understand it's a common concern of most students. Now, just a brief about so the ACCA syllabus keeps changing. Okay, now fortunately in FM there are no major changes, because nothing really changes dramatically in the field of finance. Okay, so I am taking one exam back also. So in June 23, what are the changes that got into play? So in section, so if you see on your left hand side, okay, there is section 2B2E. Sorry, section B2E. Okay, so if you just open the syllabus, if you just Google syllabus FM, okay, ACCA, and you will get a document which is published by the institute, the official syllabus. Over there, you will find these subsections. If you want to see the reference, I haven't included it over here, but that's how you can get it. And you will, in fact, find this table in that syllabus also. Now, in B2E, so B2, so just for example, so section B was basically financial management environment, and then there may be a subtopic 2, and to which there is another subtopic E. Okay, so over there, explain the impact of fintech in changing the nature and role of financial markets and institutions. Okay, so they have introduced fintech into the syllabus. So you may just want to read through fintech. You can even do a quick Google search about it. Well, fintech is nothing but, as the word suggests, it is using technology in finance. Very interestingly, Bitcoin is also a technology in finance, because crypto or blockchain is a technology. This is the underlying technology behind cryptocurrencies, okay, on which cryptocurrencies are built. So it is a part of fintech. Okay, so like that, so many softwares and technologies are used to for credit scoring, for credit history, um, for managing your finances better. A lot of softwares and everything are now at play to clear payments, to facilitate payments, all of that. So a quick Google search would help you to be up speed with fintech. Then evaluate and discuss the key factors in determining working capital strategies. Okay, so here it's a small, this is already there in your study text. Okay, but initial verb amended to evaluate, to be clear that calculations can be tested in this area. So nothing major. Okay, just certain clarification. Now in the September 23 attempt, more changes were made. Explain. So under B1D, okay, explain the need for and the interaction with planning and decision making in business of competition policy, government assistance for business, green policies and sustainability issue, corporate governance regulation. All are theory topics. Okay, so now, well, there is a growing importance of sustainability. Okay, whatever businesses people are doing, or whatever policies businesses are formulating, need to be formulated keeping in mind the sustainability issue. Sustaining means being able to carry on the business for a longer period of time. Sustainable source of energy, focusing on renewable source of energy. Sustainable policies, not damaging the environment. Because in the short term, by exploiting these resources, you may be able to make money. But in the long term, when these resources get depleted, what are you going to do? So be mindful. So this is growing off late. It is getting a lot of importance. Your global warming, sea level, Okay, all of that. So sustainability as a whole is gaining a lot of importance, and therefore the ACCA Institute has decided to increase the emphasis on sustainability issues in FM chapters as well. Okay, so sustainability issue has been added to reflect, or is added to point number 3, that is green policies and sustainability issues, to reflect the increasing importance of sustainability issues, right? So these are just some minor changes which you should be aware of, and there are, since these are new topics, there is a high possibility that you could maybe expect one theory question. Could, okay, again, it's all probability. See, one can't predict how these papers are going to be set. Okay, we can only speak in probability terms. Okay, so there is a high chance that these new topics or questions could be asked relating to sustainability, relating to fintech. Okay, so pay attention to it. Now, to help you with exams, there is certain resources available with the institute. So one is the exam support articles. So there are certain technical articles which are published by the ACCA Institute. So I'll just show it to you in live. All you have to do is Google FM technical articles ACCA. Okay. Click on the first link. It's going to look something like this. I hope the screen is legible. Let me just zoom in. Okay. So there are certain articles. So say, for example, working capital management. Okay, you want some information on working capital management. You just click on it, and there is some notes available to you for working capital management. Okay. So similarly, not only working capital management, there are several topics. So if you want if you want to read more about, or more practice, or more solved examples, then this is what you can refer to. And it is free for all. Whether you are a student or not, you can access this. Okay. Other things like, sorry, other things like your CBE platform and your ACCA Study Hub. Well, these two resources are free, but only for ACCA students. So the articles, where whether you are ACCA student or not, irrespective, you have access to that articles. But the CBE platform, CBE stands for computer based examination. Okay. So this is in fact a very integral part in your or part to the key, or is a very integral thing for the key of your success. As in, without practice, and especially not only practicing on paper and pen, in fact, I would suggest do not practice on paper and pen. Practice only on this platform. Why? Because this is a computer platform, and your exam is going to be computer based. Also, this platform is going to simulate the exam environment, how the whole user interface would be, how the navigation will be, all of that. Okay, I'll just quickly show you. Okay, wait, I had actually one of my older students was kind enough to give his login. So I'm just logged in through his profile. He has successfully cleared. Okay, I think there is some problem with the ACCA website, which is very odd. I think there's some maintenance based issue. Okay, maybe later I'll try again. So just remind me that we have to do the CBE platform and the ACCA Study Hub. Okay. But very quickly, I'll just wait. Let me just enter the full screen mode. Okay. So the articles we discussed, CBE platform, well, it is a platform where you can practice, as the name is pretty self-explanatory. You will get mock papers over there. You will get specimen papers over there. You will get certain past paper questions over there. Okay. Please utilize it and ensure you have given all of the questions, or all. So under FM, whatever questions are there, you have tried it out once. Okay, it is super crucial. Then comes your ACCA study hub. Well, those of you who do not want to, or rather, basically, if you want to just study and read about topics in details, so the ACCA study hub is there to teach you. Okay, which is actually the ACCA study hub is very recently introduced. In fact, I think in this month only it was introduced. Okay, so it is a relatively new addition. So the institute has taken measures that let us provide our own study material to the students so that they can study better. Okay, now more or these are let's say tips and tricks or whatever, or how to go about the exam. What are the do's and don'ts? Okay, you could say something like that. So first one is, do not ignore theory. I've already said this before. I'm going to say it again. Just don't. 40 to 50% of the exam is theory. Okay, it is important. And in fact, if you ask me, to be very honest, theory based questions are it takes less time for you to answer. Because see, when there's a calculation, you will have to do certain calculations. Okay, you have to extract the variables, make certain calculations, then come up with an answer. Then you will see if my answer is there available in the MCQ. If not, then you will say, oh, I made some mistake, recalculate. It is time consuming. Okay, write numbers on the calculator. Maybe you made a mistake in the brackets. Okay, lot of things can go wrong. Also, if you have done it well, it is time consuming, even if you have practiced it. So say for example, a theory question may take you maybe say for example 1 minute to answer. A calculation based question may take more than 1 minute, say 2 minutes to answer. Okay, so attempting theory questions are quicker because you have already read it and you know about it, you see the options, you know which is the right option, and you can mark it and score those marks. So 40 to 50%, well, there is no fixed percent, but looking at past papers, 40 to 50% is theory. And in fact, theory comes in all the three sections. So you can't say that, oh, in section C, I won't get a theory question. Well, you will get a theory question in section C as well. In fact, there's a high chance that 10 marks is calculation and 10 marks is theory in type C question. Okay. So out of 20 marks, 10 marks is theory. So you do not want to skip this. Now, the next question that, okay, it's established that theory is important. But how to go about theory? It is just so vast, it is so difficult to remember everything. Well, the approach, that's the thing. Okay. You need not remember everything word to word. You need not by heart things or memorize things. Unfortunately, in our graduation level, in our school level, that's all we have been doing. We have been memorizing things. And then we reproduce it in the exam. And after a month, we remember nothing of it. So, by hearting stuff or memorizing theory is not going to help you in the ACCA exam. Okay. You need to read the theory part and understand it. Okay. Even if certain things you forget, no problem. Just have a general understanding of it. And on understanding, know how can I apply this in a question or in real world. Because the exams are preparing you for real world. Okay. So theory, this is how you go. Think of it as if you have learned something and you need to then explain it to a friend of yours in your own words. So that would be, or rather, that's my recommended approach. Okay. Questions will be situational and logical. So a copy paste of theory topics may not work. They are never going to ask you what are the advantages of a treasury function. But they will ask you advantages of a treasury function, okay, or the centralized treasury department in a twisted way. Like relating to this particular question, how do you think that the company should go for a centralized treasury department? Okay, so instead of asking you the advantages of a treasury function or a centralized treasury department, they may ask you that would you recommend that this particular company have a centralized treasury function or not, or treasury department or not? And then you can mention the advantages and disadvantages. You do not write these in points, okay? You can write it in small paragraphs, all right? And you can easily score good marks in your, maybe not 100%, because I understand there are things here and there you may forget, okay? So no problem. After, out of say 5 points, if you remember even 3 points, you will score some good marks, which can help you clear the exam easily. Or if you make mistakes in calculation, they are going to make it up, okay? Now, firstly, what you need to do is read the notes. So if you are a student of Lakshya, notes have been provided to you all. Read those notes, okay? Or if you're not a student of Lakshya, no problem. You have the study hub available. You have these articles available. You have there are two publication houses, okay, which are recommended by the ACCA Institute. Okay, so you could go through their study text. Okay, now reading all of that, maybe you can make your own pointers, your own revision notes, you could call it. Okay, make some points here and there. Okay, then once you have read through the text or notes, then what you do is in your exam kit, solve all the section A and section B paper, or rather all questions which has theory. That's the best way, if you ask me, to prepare for theory, because you will understand what sort of question, because as I told you, the questions won't be straightforward. They are situational. They are testing whether you have understood the concepts, not whether you can reproduce the concepts. Okay, so and by solving all these theory questions, there are so many ample of theory questions available in that exam kit. Solve each and every one of them. So even if you do not read notes, and if you just say, for example, you have a shortage of time, okay, just by learning, doing this practice or exam kit, all the theory question from there, you will be in a very good position to uh, pick marks or score easy marks in theory. And trust me, theory questions are easier as compared to calculation based. Okay. So yeah, that's how I would recommend going about theory topics. So I hope it's clear. I hope I have been able to ease you into learning theory. Again, it's a humble request that please do not ignore theory. It is a matter of clearing and not clearing your exam. That's the key. Okay. Now, why use the CBE platform, practice platform? Okay. We all know practice makes one perfect. So you need to practice, practice, practice. In your practice, when you are practicing, you will make certain mistakes, which is okay. At least you are aware where you are making mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. So you will make a mistake once. Okay. When you are doing some practice, you made a mistake once. Then suppose again you are doing a second time revision or whatever, you are solving again. Again, maybe you made some other mistakes. Make these mistakes, learn from them. In the exam, you will remember, oh, I had made this mistake while I was doing a mock paper or while I was practicing certain exam kit questions. Okay, I shouldn't repeat it. You are aware of the pitfalls and all the tricky parts of a question. Because to be honest, many questions are typical, like especially type C, whatever calculation base. See, in type C, there are only 3 topics. Now, out of these 3 topics, there are only certain types of questions that can be asked. Okay, certain types of calculations that are usually asked. So, if you have solved every question from your exam kit, then you are in a very good position. You already know. Sometimes, trust me, like interacting with some of my older students who have cleared, they say that, sir, many times the question is exactly the same, just that the numbers are changed. Okay, so there is a possibility. See, again, I cannot predict how the papers are going to be, but there's a high probability that some things like this could happen. Why? Because even think from the paper setter's point of view, there are only a certain number of things they can ask you, especially in type C. Okay, so it could be repetitive in nature. So if you have solved each and every one and have great confidence in solving those type C questions, you're in a very good position already, because type C is 40 marks. Okay, CBE platforms simulate an actual examination. So there are certain mock papers available. In fact, the pre-September mock is available. Got just launched on 2 days back, 14th of August. It got launched. Okay, which is going to simulate the actual exam. You'll get a feel of actual exam. All the instructions will be available to you. Okay, you get familiar with the user interface, how to navigate through questions, how to flag certain questions. Flagging is basically you are marking a question. Say that you come across a question and you know you have not studied this topic for whatever reasons, you have skipped the topics, or you haven't studied the topic, or you have forgotten the topic. No problem, just flag it. No point spending time behind that question. Time is money. In fact, one of the topics in finance is time value of money. Okay, money today is more valuable than money later. Similarly, time today or time right now, every minute matters in in this exam. Okay, so when you become familiar with the whole interface of the exam platform, okay, you will be able to easily navigate through it. You will know how to use tools like flagging. You will learn how to use certain formatting tools. You will learn how to use the spreadsheet, all the formulas, because even in the spreadsheet there are, or even an on-screen calculator, it's like a scientific calculator. Okay, so you cannot carry a physical calculator. So I don't know. There is some misconception some students have that we can carry our own calculators. The answer is no. You cannot carry your own calculator. There will be an on-screen calculator. You can use only that. Okay. So get familiar with the on-screen calculator, how to put brackets. All those things will come through practice only. Otherwise, sometimes, one very rookie mistake a lot of students make is, well, we are used to paper and pen, and we are used to the regular calculator where there is a multiplication symbol, that is X. Okay, but in computers, a multiplication symbol is a star. All right, you will find it in your number pad next to division sign, that is a slash. Okay, even paper based, we put division sign is, it's like a hyphen with a dot on top and below the hyphen. But in computers, it is a slash symbol. All right. So you should know all this. You should get familiar with this. Also, practicing in CBE platform is going to improve your speed, your typing speed. Numbers, you need to get familiar with the keyboard of your computer. And each computer is different, mind you. Okay, because the keyboard size is now different. Laptops, if a lot of people are giving exams through a laptop, different laptops have a different keypad configuration. Some have number pads, some do not have number pads. I suggest one with number pads because it's finance. A lot of numbers are to be inputted, so a number pad is always helpful. Okay, so if possible, get a number pad based laptop. Borrow a friend's laptop or something like that if need be. Okay, or your parents' laptop, just for those 3 hours. That is if you're giving a home based exam. If you're going to the center and giving, then I'm assuming they have a number pad available with their keyboard. Okay. So yeah, improves typing speed. We already covered that point. So CBA platform, very important. Practice makes one perfect. So practice, 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 and practice only on the CBE platform. Let me just see if that the website is working or not. Okay. Actually, we'll just take a quick 5 minutes break. I'll try to re-log in. Okay. I don't want to show the credentials. So we'll take a 5 minutes break. I'll try to re-log in. If it works, great. I can show you the platform. If it doesn't, then it's unfortunate that the platform is not working properly. It's not usual. I think there is some updation work that may be going on due to which there's this error. But either ways, maybe some other day I can run you through the platform. Okay, but we'll take a 5 minutes break. Let me try what I can do and log in. Right. So see you in 5 minutes. All right, welcome back. So just a moment. Yeah. Okay. So I found a workaround. Basically, just Google search ACCA FM study resource. All right, and you will arrive at a screen like this, the first link. Okay, so this is all the study resources consolidated over in one page. So you have your syllabus over here, introduction to financial management, your planning tools, how to plan your study, examination team guide, get ready module. So all of that you can, go through these. You have your ACCA study hub over here. Okay, for revision and practice. So there is this. You can just click here. Okay, and over here there is a section to log into practice platform. Uh, it will ask you, since I'm already logged in through my student's account. If you have not logged in, there will be a prompt which will ask you to log in. Okay, once you are logged in, you will arrive at this screen. Okay, so on your right hand side is all the papers. Okay, so we are currently discussing financial management. So now in financial management, you have a blank workspace. So if you are, say, practicing certain questions from the exam kit or a practice kit, okay, you can open a blank workspace and do it there. Else, if you are looking for more questions and you want to do some mock exams, click on ACCA official resources. And under this, you have past exam library. So you have so many past questions from these past papers. Okay, you have certain practice exams. So you have your pre-September mock, which I was talking about, just got published 2 days back on 14th of August. Okay, so you have to give this paper. Okay, in fact, you have to give all of this. So there is one specimen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Now, bear in mind that these papers may not be a full-fledged 100-mark paper. So not everything that you see over here is 100-mark paper. Okay. They could be just a section C sort of questions also. Okay. Depending on what it is. But the mock will be a 100-mark paper and it will be timed. So it's a good thing. Also, one more thing. When you are giving any mock, even if it is not timed by the mock provider, at least time yourself. So you are aware. Now again, as I said, this is of a student who has cleared. Okay. So say for example, there is this paper, okay, March, June 23. I can just click on assign. Once it is assigned, it will come under, so you have to be in home and under self assigned material. So just search for FM. Okay, so there is FM over here. Okay, so you will find whatever you have assigned yourself, you will find it in this section and you can start the paper. Now, I'm not going to start the paper because then there are series of steps to exit it, but just click start and the on-screen instructions are fairly simple. Once you complete the paper, submit it. Once it's submitted, it will come under mark. Okay, so over here, then you can come. So there is home and then there is mark. Under mark, you can do something called self mark. Now, section A and section B will be auto corrected by the system because they are MCQ multiple choice questions. So the system already knows what is the correct answer. It is just going to directly give you the marks. But section C will be self mark. And then you can self mark yourself. There will be a guideline. So it's a good practice to even self mark because you understand how are marks allotted. You understand how the paper checker is going to give you marks. In ACCA, one very good thing is if you make one mistake, okay, say for example, there is a type C question and you have been asked to calculate weighted average cost of capital. Now, you made some calculation based mistake in calculating cost of equity. So say for example, calculating cost of equity is 2 marks. Since you made some calculation error, you will lose those 2 marks. But calculating WACC would be 1 mark, say example. correct calculation of WACC is 1 mark. But since you calculated your cost of equity wrongly, your weighted average cost of capital may be wrong. But the ACCA Institute is not going to punish you twice. It has already punished you, or it has already penalized you for getting the calculation of cost of equity wrong. But using that wrong figure, if you have correctly applied the calculations for WACC, then you will be awarded that 1 mark. And based on that, if there are certain conclusions that you are making, okay, based on the wrongly, because see, cost of equity is wrong, therefore WACC is wrong. Based on that wrong WACC, your conclusion is also wrong. However, if your logic in the conclusion is correct, then you will be awarded marks for the conclusion also. So, for example, in your NPV based calculation, you made some error in inflation. Okay, you didn't inflate the values properly. And since your cash flows were not inflated properly, your NPV is wrong. And say because of that, NPV came negative, and you concluded that we recommend not going ahead with the project because NPV is a negative one. It won't add to the shareholders' wealth. Okay, you have given that conclusion, but your this in actually, if you would have done all the calculations properly, it was actually a positive NPV. But you are only penalized once when you did the wrong inflation impact. You will get full marks on NPV if you did the discounting and everything else properly. Okay, and you will be given full marks for the conclusion if the conclusion is correct as per the calculated NPV. Okay, so basically, they are not going to punish you twice. So you will know that each and every step in type C question has marks. And when you are self-marking, it will get evident to you how the marking is done. Once you have marked, you can come on the result section and you will know what sort of marks you have earned. Okay. And then performance is like your graphical representation of the exams and everything. Okay. So for FM, it's like this. All right. Clear with the practice platform or the CBE practice platform? So I don't know, there was some problem with the My ACCA portal. Okay, but this is a workaround that. So just Google uh, study resources for FM ACCA. You will arrive at this page most likely. Okay, or you can go to the ACCA Global website and then under student section, find study support resources. Under that, select financial management as a subject. You will get all the resources available to you, including study hub, examiners report. I'll come to examiners report a little later. Technical articles, we saw that previously. So this was the technical articles, okay, and tricky topics. Now coming back to our presentation. So we discussed the CBE platform. Now, certain best things that you can do to ensure that you clear off within the first attempt, not only just pass but earn well, is do not ignore any topics. Okay. You want to ideally read through and study each and every topic and not ignore anything. However, if there is lack of time, I have given you a bifurcation. At least do the most important and important topics. And to be honest, the other two topics, you can quickly just read through them. Whatever you understand, you understand. Okay, at least you can earn something. Do not ignore. See, if you ignore a topic, there's a high probability you're not going to earn marks from it. But if you have at least gone through the topic, a quick read through, which will take 1 or 2 hours, okay. Now, okay, just moving back, there's this one point I forgot. So there's this 7 hours a day. Now, how do you split the 7 hours? You would say, oh my God, 7 hours in a day I have to study. Well, in all honesty, I have split it up for you. In the morning, okay, whenever you wake up, I would suggest, if possible, start studying at 7:30 a.m. Okay, if you start at 7, 2.5 hours, 7 to 8 to 9, 9:30. By 9:30, you are done with 2.5 hours. Then go for a walk, uh, meet up a friend, whatever you want to do. Okay, you do. Take a break basically for 1 hour, 2 hours. Take a break. Then start another 2.5 hours in the afternoon. Okay, then again take a break and do 2 hours in late evening. Sleep early so that you can wake up early. Studying early in the morning is very useful because, well, this is a personal thing, but there's a psychology behind it. We tend to retain information more when our mind is rested. Okay, so see, at night we are sleeping, our mind is at rest. Then, with a fresh uh, day, a fresh mind, you can absorb information better. If you do things at the very end, okay, late night, you have already been active throughout the day. You are mentally exhausted. Physically, whether maybe you're not playing anything, so physically you feel that, oh no, I'm fine. But mentally, you have been studying the whole day. You are exhausted. Whatever you're going through study, the chances of retaining or understanding it won't be much. You will be sleepy, you will be dozing off. Okay, you'll be drinking coffee or Red Bull or whatever you all are into, okay, to stay awake. It's not going to achieve a lot. Rather, sleep early. When the body is telling you, listen to your body. When the body tells you to sleep, sleep. So go to bed by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Wake up early. Start your day early. The fresh mind and the rested mind, study. You will absorb the concepts better. So 2.5 hours in the morning, 2.5 hours in the afternoon. So that's 5 hours and 2 hours late evening or in the evening, wherever. So this is just a suggested 7 hour split. You can do it your way. I suggest you follow this because there's ample breaks. So taking breaks is also important. You do not just study 4 hours at a stretch because psychologically a human brain can only retain information or pay attention for almost 2 hours, 1.5 hour, 2 hours. Again, depending on different people, different attention spans. But in this day and age of Instagram reels and TikTok videos, which are just 15 seconds, it pains us to watch even a 5-minute video. With YouTube feature having a 2x speed, probably, when you're watching a recording of this YouTube video, there's a high chance that you're watching this video at 1.5 or 2x speed. The focus, the duration of focus or the attention span is reducing. Okay, so there's no point to doing 4 hour study because you are anyways not going to retain it. So have breaks in between, plan it out. This is just my plan, my suggested plan. You have a better plan which works because you know yourself the best. So you can come up with an alternative plan, but write the plan down and stick to that plan. Okay. Anyways, coming back. So, what all things you must do to ensure that you pass in the first attempt? Do not ignore any topic. Manage time. Allocate time. Section A, I'll spend 50 minutes. So again, this is suggested. 50 minutes for section A, section B 50 minutes, and section C 80 minutes. Section C is the biggest one, so therefore 80 minutes, 20 minutes per question. Okay. Section A and B 50 minutes each. Totals up to 3 hours. Okay, or 180 minutes. Now, during the exam or when you're giving your mocks, time yourself. Section A 50 minutes. Move on to the next question or next section. There is no point wasting your time. So you would spend more time thinking of things which you don't know. Because see, if you knew things, you would quickly do the calculation or quickly answer the question. If you don't know things, you will start thinking. You will think of different, this could be the correct answer, that could be the correct answer. You would spend more time. What I would suggest is just flag those questions. When you do CB, when you're practicing on the CBE platform, when you're attempting mocks, you will know the flagging feature. Try it out. Okay. You can flag a question, come back to it later, play to your strengths. Whatever topics you know, attempt those first, because when in fact my suggestion would be do section C first, the big questions. Why? Because you have a fresh mind. Okay, if you do section C last, what is going to happen is um, you would be already tired with section A and B. Your brain has, brain is one of the most energy consuming organ of your body. One third of the energy is taken up by the human brain. Okay, and especially when you're thinking, that is a resting brain. If you're thinking, that demand for energy is more. So with the fresh mind, attempt section C, the big one. Otherwise, once if you come to the end, the question is so big, you will be tired. You will feel a little bored to read the entire thing. Then you will skip. You will try to read it quickly. Or maybe there is less time for you left and you are trying to do things in a hurry and you make mistakes. Okay. So my personal suggestion, start with section C, allot 80 minutes to it. Time yourself. Once 80 minutes are done, skip. Skip as in move on to the next section. If you have some time left, come back to it. Okay. Another suggestion, when in a type sheet or sort of the question is very big, first read the requirements. What are you required to calculate? What are you required to answer or discuss? Okay. Once you know the requirements, then study the or read through the entire question. So you are reading the question with some purpose. And also when you are reading the question in your spreadsheet, just jot down or note down all those important variables which are mentioned. So say you are reading some information, say initial investment number is given, immediately write initial investment is equal to so and so. Then it is a 5-year project. Okay, 0 1 2 3 4 5 years. Okay, inflow is so and so, general inflation rate is so and so, uh, real discounting rate is so and so. Write it as and when you read something, just copy paste the information onto your spreadsheet. Yeah, there is a copy paste function, so you need not type everything, you can just do copy paste. Okay, the advantage of doing this copy paste of all the variables or relevant information is that when you are actually going to solve or do calculations, you need not each time switch tabs and go to the question and then scroll through the entire question and try to find out the figures. It is time consuming. Okay, so make it like a summary. Okay, information summary of that question. So whatever that big in text form is given, you have just put it in number forms. So it's easier for you to do cell referencing and find out your or do all your calculations. Okay, so that's about section C. And section A and B, especially section B. Now in section B, there are 5 sub questions. Out of these 5 sub questions, 2 or 3 will be theory. Attempt theory questions first. Why? Because theory questions are less time consuming. No calculations are involved. No, so finish that off first, and then take your time to solve the calculation part. Okay, so you have a little time. You are in a, otherwise you don't want to have a pressured mindset. You want to have a calm mindset throughout the exam. Okay, so section B, attempt the theory first and then attempt the calculation part. Section A also similarly, but section A it's mixed. So actually, section A would be relatively easy. So you can just whatever sequence it is, you can follow that. If you don't know a certain thing, flag it, come back to it later. Okay. Mock exams on the CBE platform. Again, maybe this is the third time I'm going to repeat, practice, practice, practice. You have to solve all the mock papers that you can. Practice the mock papers on the CBE platform so that you are familiar with the whole interface and everything. Well, we have already discussed it. I won't extend it more. And lastly, read the last 2 examiners report. So I'll show you what the examiner's report is. So when you come to the study resources, you will find something called examiner's report. Okay. Now, so there's an examiner report for March, June 23. There's an examiner report available for September, December 22. In fact, these papers you will also find online in your practice session. Okay, go through these reports. Now, why am I asking you to go through these reports? Is when you go through, so let me just open one report for you. Okay, or this will wait. Okay, so this is the latest one. So there are certain general comments made. Then section A, certain questions are discussed. Okay, and the rationale behind these questions or these answers are also discussed. Okay, so basically these examiners report will highlight areas which students who have given the exam before you have found difficult, or the common errors that students have made. So you get more familiar with how to answer these questions, familiar with the common pitfalls or common mistakes that people make. See, let us all believe that we are all average students, we are not above average. So, what average students of the past, the mistakes they are making, there is a high probability even I'll make it. Okay. So, the examiner report will help me realize what mistakes my past average students have been making so that I do not repeat them. Okay, so read at least the latest two available examiners report is a must, I would recommend. Okay, so all these things you can do in the last 7 days. So 15 days I gave you like a study plan, 7 hours a day. If you can do more than 7 hours, great. 8 hours, you can do two, two, two. Sorry, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, or 3, 3, 3, whatever, as per you. If you, but minimum 7 hours, please do, and you will comfortably be able to complete at least the studying part of it. Okay. And while you are studying, you are also practicing. Understand that it's just not reading, because if you remember, the guide said that section C type questions you have to solve, section B type. So 3 questions in the most important topics, you have to do 3 questions of section C type, 2 questions of section B type, and as many section A as per the time available. Okay. So when you practice this, in fact, you can study through the exam kit by solving questions. If you make some mistakes or if you don't know certain thing, you can refer to your notes and then revise that portion and attempt it better. Okay. So yeah, practice the mocks, manage your time, and go through the examiner reports. Common mistakes which students frequently make on speaking to students and on correcting various papers over so many years. Okay, this is what I have observed. Reading questions in a hurry is a very common mistake students make. In fact, just my yesterday's class, we were doing like a test, and the question said round it off in the nearest thousand. People didn't read it. They wrote the full value, $92,272. But the actual answer was 92,000. Okay? Because they said round it off. Rounding errors sometimes people make. It is 92,800, but they will still write it as 92,000. Right? Nearest thousand. So 92,800 will become rounded to 93,000. So anything above 5 gets rounded up to the upper number or the upper value, and anything below 5 gets rounded down to the lower value. Okay, so rounding mistakes. Then something like value of right, whether it's value of a right or value of right per share. Okay, that needs to be paid attention. So all that thing you will pick up only when you calmly read the question and understand the question properly, not in a hurry. Because when you read questions in a hurry, these are small, small things you are bound to miss out and you are bound to make mistake. This is my experience correcting papers. Sometimes in MCQs, they say that mark 2 statements, but we mark only 1 statement and proceed. Marking 1 statement is not going to earn you 1 mark because it's going to be auto corrected by the system. The system just understands correct and wrong. There is no partially correct for the system. So out of 2 statements, you marked one and you click next, you're going to get a 0, though that what you have marked is correct, but you're still going to get 0. Okay. So please read the question with a calm mind, slowly understand what is being asked, and accordingly give out your answer. Another common mistake is not practicing on the CBE platform. Why? Because you have to open your system, you have to log in. Okay. So leave no, I'm practicing on my book, or I'm practicing it on Excel. Well, understand this, that the CBE platform and the Excel software are a little different. Certain shortcut keys that work on Excel will not work on the CBE platform, and you will feel lost. And if you're doing paper pen, then Lord save you, because it's very difficult. Typing, the speed of typing matters. Okay, so you need to get familiar with the entire system. You have to practice only on the CBE platform. Why? Because the exam is going to be on the same platform. Okay, so please, you're practicing great, but practice on CBE platform only and not any other software or your book. Then mistakes in denomination. Also, another thing, when people think, oh, practicing means going through solutions. No, it's not going through solution. It's actually you solving. Okay, so solve them. Because many times when we are reading through solutions, we know, oh, yes, I understood what this effect is done. I understood why such a calculation is made. And you will move on. But when you actually sit down to do those calculations, you will make a mistake. Even putting brackets or finding the square root. What is the function SQRT? Okay. In fact, we'll do a quick, we'll take like a blank spreadsheet on the CB platform, and I'll show you certain functions also. Okay, in this session. Mistakes in denomination. Now, many times what happens is certain values are given in $1,000,000, certain value are given in $100,000 or $1,000. Okay. And students, what they'll do, oh, okay, initial investment $1,000,000, cash inflow $500,000. So what they will write, one, and then they'll write 500. But it's wrong. You either make everything in million, then it is 1 million, so 1, and then 0.5 million, which is $500,000. Okay, so pay attention to the denomination that is being used. Label, when you are presenting your calculations, label what is this column saying. Okay, this is initial investment. All right, this is cash inflows. Okay, this is tax saving on tax deductible depreciation. Sorry, tax allowable depreciation. Okay, so have proper labels. Make sure your denominations is correct. Mention the denomination. A lot of people, they'll write NPV is equal to 500 or 500,000 or 1 million. But 1 million what? Is it dollars? Is it pound? Is it euros? Or is it a percentage? So please mention those denomination. EOQ is equal to $500. EOQ is quantity. How can it be dollars? It's 500 units. So pay attention to these denominations. A lot of students make this denomination mistake, especially not standardizing things. 1 million, $100,000, make everything million, or make all $1,000, or just write one followed by 6 zeros, 1 million and 500,000, 5 followed by 5 zeros. Okay, write the full number if that's the case. Okay, but don't make these silly mistakes and lose marks. It pains me a lot by giving that wrong, and students lose that 1 or 2 marks. Many people in the past, okay, from experience, I'm saying, are not able to clear the exam, just 48, 49 marks. Pains me a lot. Okay, but all these small things is going to make a big difference. You will say, okay, I'm just saying because I have to say. No, this is from experience, observations that I have made. Okay. So pay attention to denomination. Also, percentage per annum, percentage per month. Okay. Sometimes certain numbers are given as percentage per month, and you need in the formula, you need percentage per annum. So be mindful of that. Another common mistake, skipping topics and ignoring theory. I've already uh, given the emphasis on theory topics. Okay, so please do not skip it. And in fact, don't skip any topics. I've given you an entire plan. From today itself, you can start. Okay, and in 15 days, you will complete all the sections that way. And another mistake is not completing the paper. Now, why would you not complete the paper? Because time management went for a toss. You spent too much time under one section, which maybe you didn't know, and you were just trying your best to answer it. Well, move on. If you don't know something, fair enough. If you knew everything, then you would be scoring 100, but very few people score 100. So accept it. Accept that there are certain topics or certain things that you will find difficult. So move on, come back to it at the very end. Play to your strengths. Score wherever possible. Where you can't score, don't try to throw in some punches and waste your energy. Okay? So time manage. So, and this can only be done when you practice. See, when you have practiced certain questions, you get quicker with time. Because first time when you try an NPV question, it is going to take you, say, half an hour or maybe a 1 hour. Second time when you do it, it will get reduced by 15 minutes. Third time when you will do another reduction in 15 minutes. Fourth time when you do it, another reduction in 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever. But when you practice it, it kind of becomes muscle memory. When you practice it on the platform, it becomes muscle memory. Oh, okay, this is the user interface. Oh, I know where the next button is. I know how to flag. I know how to come back to the flag questions. I know how to use a spreadsheet. I know how to mark answers. Okay. Improves the speed. I know my typing speed has improved. So all these practicing on the CB platform will help you become quicker. Okay. And since you are also in your mock papers, give as many mock as possible. I would suggest give at least 3 to 4 mocks. Okay. In this mocks, time yourself. So you know which section is taking time for you. You know which section you should give first. Maybe you don't want to go with my recommendation. Every student is different. Okay. So plan. There should be a game plan, a strategy. How are you going to approach the exam? How are you going to ensure that you complete the exam in the time given or available to you? Now, certain exam tips. Attempt all questions. The easier marks first. Okay. So keep in mind, in the ACCA exam, there is no negative marking. So all the MCQ question, you have a 1/4 probability of getting it right. So take your chances. Even if you don't know something, don't leave it blank. Mark something. Say you have flagged the difficult questions and there are last 10 minutes left in the exam. You don't have a lot of time to think over these questions. No problem. Like if there is certain thing where you are just blank, mark something. But mark. Flag them, mark later. Okay, or answer later. That means do the easier questions first. Whatever things, if you have practiced working capital, business finance, and investment appraisal very well, like you are very strong in these three topics, attempt all the questions which has these three topics. Okay, easy marks for you since you are confident in these topics. Read and understand the question properly. Okay, I've already discussed this, so I won't say more. But take your time in reading the questions. Spending a little 30 seconds extra is going to help you pick up on those finer things which is mentioned in the exam. Which, if you do not pick up, you will lose 1 or 2 marks because of that. You don't want that. Every mark matters. In section C, write down all the available information and variables. As already discussed before, like a quick summary. in numerical form is available to you. What is the discounting rate? What is the inflation rate? What is the initial investment? How many year project? What is the scrap value? Another thing, WIP. At the end of the project, the WIP gets released. A lot of students forget to release the work in progress. Why? Because in the exam, it's not given. But when you solve a question on NPV and you make one mistake that, oh, I forgot to take WIP release, then you will remember, oh, I've made this mistake. Let me not repeat it. Okay? That is why it all comes together, practicing, time management, all that. In a hurry, when you are in a hurry, when you are running short of time, say you spent more than the allotted time for section A and B. Section C, you will read the question quicker. In a hurry, you will miss out some figures, even certain calculation like including WIP. It's not mentioned in the question, so you forgot to write it down only, as in the release of WIP. Okay, scrap sold at the end of the year. Possible to miss it out. So two inflows at the end, you may miss out because there was less time and you were trying to answer it in a hurry. So whatever you did, ultimately your answer will go wrong. Though you, thanks to the way ACCA corrects, you won't lose all marks. Okay, you will still gain, but still 1 or 2 marks you will lose. And why give that up? Because of these silly things. Label all labels and headings for all your working should be in place. Okay, label everything. What are you writing? Date, if there is date, if there is amount, write the denomination of amount, whether it's $100,000, whether it's $1,000, whether it's $1,000,000, whether it's dollar, pounds, euros, whatever it is, label. Okay, label what a cell is representing. Okay, this is my cost of equity, this is my cost of debt, this is my premium, market premium, this is my risk free rate, and highlight the final answer. If the final thing is asking you WACC, highlight WACC, highlight cost of equity, highlight cost of debt, highlight WACC. Three important figures. So that thing from the paper checker's point of view, the paper checker has to correct so many papers. Okay, and mentally even they are tired. If you make their correction easier, they are in a better mind frame when they are correcting your paper. They are happier with your paper. Okay, so they may, I'm not saying anything, but they may be a little lenient towards you because you have made their lives a little easier by highlighting. If you feel highlighting takes time, just bold the answer. Okay, positive mindset. So do a daily positive self talk firstly, that tell yourself, I believe in myself, I will clear the exam in the first attempt. Visualize clearing the exam in the first attempt. Think about your friends and family, how happy they would be. People around you, how proud they would be. Okay. Visualize it. When you visualize success, you would want to have that success more. And when you have that drive, you are going to put in the efforts. When you practice, you will gain confidence. First time, you will make a mistake. Your confidence would come down. But the second time, you will get it right. Maybe second time also you make a mistake. Third time, you will get it right. Once you get it right, you will get confident about it. You will feel good. Yes, okay, now I can solve any questions relating to NPV. 2 times you made a mistake. Third time you got all the correct calculations. Fourth time again correct. Fifth time again correct. Now you are confident. Yes, if there is any question relating to NPV, I can solve it. Okay, and when you are confident, you are positive. Otherwise, before exam, a lot of students are, oh, I don't know anything. I'm very scared. And though they know a lot of things in the exam, because of that fear, your subconscious is, when you speak negatively to yourself, your subconscious is making you negative. Your belief in yourself is coming down. So you need to say it out aloud. I believe in myself. I got this. I can do it. I will easily clear. I have prepared well. And this confidence will only come when you practice and plan your entire study and plan your exam. How are you going to? So previously I showed you a plan. So this section A 50 minutes, section B 50 minutes, section C 80 minutes. Plan is to do section C first, or maybe some people want to do section A first because it's easier. Okay, after A they will come to C, and then at the end do B. Okay, or some may do section A for section C first, then do section A, and then last B. Or some will do section C first, then B, then A. Whatever your plan is, it's your plan. And you can formulate this plan only when you practice and understand yourself. And with practice, you will gain confidence also, confidence of solving. Also, plan your study. I have given you one plan for 15 days. This is only for those who are attempting the September attempt. Those who are giving in December, you have time, but still don't just think, oh, I have time, I have time. Okay. You want to plan it out. All right, this day I'm going to do. So if you have more than 15 days, then you can allot more days to the topics. This 15 days is for people who have already studied the portion. So they remember, say, they don't remember a lot, but at least they are somewhere like 10-20% they have already studied. And balance by in this 15 days, they are trying to do another 50% or 60%. Even if they are in 15 days able to cover up 50%, so 20% past knowledge, 50%, 70% they have done. Practicing will bridge the gap further. 20% in the last 7 days, you can practice, practice, practice. In fact, in the first 15 days, also you are practicing exam kits. In the last 7 days, you are solving more and more mocks. So 90% you are ready then. Okay, so you will sure, guaranteed clear the paper. It is not late, but you have to start today. 7 hours a day, and you can easily, my guarantee, you will clear it. Okay, have a positive mindset, be calm, approach the exam with a positive mind. 2 or 3 days before exam, do not study anything new. Just play to your strengths. There is no time now to study anything. Just revise your strong topics. Don't even revise your weak ones. Play to your strengths, because what is going to happen if you start focusing on your weaknesses? Okay, that element of doubt and underconfidence will come in. Oh no, I have not done this. Let me start doing it. Oh man, I'm not understanding it. Okay, so play to your strengths, and you do not want any negativity in the last 2-3 days, especially. It is going to impact your performance in the exam. You have worked hard for the last 15-20 days, and you are at this position. You know a lot of things. Be confident of that. Okay, let us move on. And I think that brings us to the end. But before we do the end, I'll just take you through certain formulas or make you more familiar with the CB platform. Okay, so we have, say, let's just open a regular practice platform. So I've assigned it, and it should be available somewhere. What is it called? Blank constructed response financial management. Yeah, okay, blank responses. It's a different heading altogether. Okay, so blank constructed response financial management. Okay, so we have a spreadsheet available. We have a word processor available. Okay, so now on this spreadsheet, I hope the screen is visible. If not, you can zoom in, or okay, I've zoomed in for you. Okay, now if you see on the top left, this is called the cell identity or cell ID. Okay, say now there is a NPV question, for example. There is an outflow initial, so year 0, and then all you have to do is +1, and then you can just drag and drop. So say there are 5 years. Okay, initial outflow or initial investment was, say, $1 million. So 1, all right, this is $1 million. So I'll say this is cash flow. All right. Or else I can even do a bifurcation wherein I'll say this is initial investment. Then I will say cash inflow based on sales or whatever it is. I'm writing cash inflow. If I just double click, it will adjust as per the width of the text. Okay. So say then I'm earning $500,000. Okay. Then next year I'm earning say 10% more. Sorry. Now 10% more will be 1 plus the growth. Okay. So 10% growth, 10% further growth. Oops. Wait. Okay. Now year 3 also there is 10% growth. Year 4 also there is 10% growth. So what is happening if I see the formula? Okay. It's taking the previous cell and growing it by 10%. So you need not retype everything. Okay. $500,000, 10% growth, 10% growth, 10% growth. And last year, it's same as the previous one. Okay. Then cash outflow, whatever expenses or whatever it is negative. Say it is, for example, it is 60% of this, or say 50% of this. Okay. Now, if it's always going to be 50%, you can just drag and drop it, and you can just verify, yes, it is doing the calculation properly. Okay. Now, I'm not going to bring in more complication. I'll just come to net cash flow. Or we can say, yeah, net cash flow. Right. So net cash flow will be is equal to sum of all the 3 cells. Right. Now, you come with a number like this. Very simple. Over here, just say that it is a number. Okay, that means it was showing something. Why did this come this way? Okay, I don't know why. I think they were picking up. So sometimes the system, okay, good that this something like this happened. Sometimes system picks up junk values. Okay, unfortunately, that is a glitch. But you have to be mentally aware also, because when I added all the values, how can it be more than $1 million? In fact, I can make this into dollars also, this entire thing. Okay, if I just go to custom, I can say currency, and I can just apply this, and everything is in dollar terms. Okay, but not necessary, because I understand this formatting takes time. So over here, you can just write all figures in US dollar. Okay, if they are $1 million, then you can write all figures in $1 million, USD million. Okay, now I already found the summation, so I can just drag and drop this, and I found the summation of all of them. Okay, then comes our discounting factor. Say discounting factor at 9%. All right, so is equal to, now year 0, there is, it's already in present value, so there is no discounting factor. So is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus r is 9%, raised to n is the year, so 1 year. So this is my discounting factor. I can just, now once I've written the formula, I can just drag and drop it. Okay, so I have gotten all the discounting factors. So I need not even refer to the discounting factor table and go to the table, copy one figure, copy the second figure, copy the third figure. No need. I can just do a copy paste of formula. Okay, how do I do it? I'll just show it to you one more time. Okay, you come here, bring your mouse cursor at the the bottom right of the cell, okay, your cursor will turn into this crosshair like a plus sign. Okay, then just click and drag it on the right hand side. Okay, so what is it doing? It is going to instruct the system that 1 divided by 1 plus 9 is going to remain constant, but this figure, okay, will keep changing as and when I keep changing these cells. So if I'm going to shift the row, then you also shift the row. Sorry, if I'm going to shift the column, you also shift the column. Okay. And then always a good practice to quickly just verify that the calculations are done. It's taking the right numbers. Okay. And this is called cell referencing. So I'm referencing the value to this particular cell, C16. Okay. So column C, row number 16. So C16, it's being referred to. All right. Now I need to find the present values. So, well, this is already in present value. Then this into this. Okay. And I can just drag and drop it. All right. So I have my, again, I can, if I want, I can format it. If you don't, because if you have already given a label that all figures are in dollars, okay, so you need not do this again. Okay. And then is equal to, so sorry, the NPV will be equal to sum of all these values. Okay. And here at the end, I can write dollars. Okay. So 146, 398 USD. If I don't want to format it, just write USD, and I can either make it bold, so it's like a highlight, or I can put some color to it. Say I put in a green color. Okay. This is my final. So the paper checker knows that, okay, the NPV figure is here. They will just look at the NPV figure. They'll look at the correct figure they already have on a sheet. If it matches, they won't even bother looking at this calculation that yes, you have done it correctly because the final answer matches. So you have made their life much easier. And this you can give an heading, calculations for NPV of XYZ or project. Okay, you are given a heading, and that's it. Now, this is one way of calculating NPV. I also told you you have um, a formula for NPV. Now, a lot of students don't understand how to use the NPV formula. So I'll just show you how you use NPV formula. Is equal to NPV, bracket open. Okay. Then you take the discounting rate. So it's 9%. And then comma, you take all the cells which you want to discount. Okay, now wait, let me just see which all cells we have highlighted. Okay, so these cells. All right. And then you will reduce the initial investment. Okay. Why did the answer not come correct? Is equal to NPV of 9%, 9% discounting, comma, all the values. So from year 1 onwards, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Okay. Then if I have to 1063. So what is the mistake over here? Then is there some calculation error here? .46. This is coming and this is 106. What's the mistake? 1 plus 9%. Yeah. Discounting factors seem proper. I don't know why is there an error. Ideally, these two answers should come same. This is coming a negative number. Okay. I don't know what exactly the error is, but anyways, when you are using the NPV formula, what you need to keep in mind is, wait, actually, let me just see what is the issue. We'll take a quick break. Let me just see what is why is it coming this way. 5 minutes break, okay? Okay, welcome back. I actually realized my mistake. It was a very silly mistake. Hardly took half a minute to realize it. So, is equal to NPV, bracket open, 9%. That is the discounting rate. Okay. And then by mistake, I took the present value, which were already discounted. Okay. You need to take the undiscounted cash flows. So then just take these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. Okay. And then from that, you have to adjust the initial investment. Just keep in mind, a lot of students, they will just write this as an answer and say this is the final answer. Okay. They will just put it in dollar terms. Okay. And they will say this is my final answer. Well, this is the wrong answer. Okay. Or they may take the first value also in this NPV calculation. They will not start it from C20, they will take C19 onwards. Sorry, B20 onwards they would take. Okay, they would take from year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the values they will take and they will get a wrong answer. So keep in mind, you have to take cash flows from first year, undiscounted cash flows from first year. Okay, and then to this value, you have to subtract the initial investment. So that is 146,398 US dollar. So ideally, when you are doing this calculation, wait, let me just make this bigger. Okay, your calculations are going to look something like this. Okay, you are going to write this down and then you will just directly write is equal to NPV is equal to formula NPV 9% discounting rate, comma, all the cash flows. That is why by habit. So since I've done this so many times, I'm usually used to taking the upper value as the cash flows. So over here also, I ended up taking all these values as the cash flows, the present value, which was the mistake. Okay. So all the cash flows are taken up and then we shall reduce the initial investment. So here I'm doing a plus sign because I've already taken it as an outflow. So plus this, and that's how I will come to my final answer, right? Okay, and then if I want, I can make this green, whatever beautification you want to do, you can do. All right. So the answer is same, 146,398. So you can save time by directly using the NPV calculation. You need not then find individual discounting factors. You need not then multiply, but you need to practice this formula so that you don't make any mistakes. See, a mistake is a mistake, whether it's silly. I made a silly mistake. Well, I would have lost marks today. Okay. But when you practice, you will learn. The reason I made a mistake was, as I said, I just took the upper value, which I'm habituated to take. Okay. So the upper values are these because normally your presentation is going to be this way, not here. I was just showing you an alternative. Okay. So accidentally I took these values and then I realized what I did. Okay. So this is how you would calculate your NPV directly, and you can give a conclusion that yes, NPV is positive. So we can go ahead with the project. Keep in mind that NPV is based on estimates. Okay, so need not you shouldn't just write a single line statement as a conclusion that oh yes, NPV is now positive, so yes, go ahead with the project. That's my conclusion. No, given the forecast, because we have studied that NPV is based on forecast. We don't know how much inflow is going to be in year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, or year 1. What we know is the initial investment because we are going to invest that today. But future, nobody has seen. We don't know what sort of cash flows we are going to get in future. So based on the estimated future cash flows and based on the cost of capital given, because understand this, that WACC is also an estimate. So we discount it with the cost of capital, which is nothing but WACC. Call it cost of capital, call it cost of return, call it return rate, whatever, the same thing. Okay, but it is also an estimate. So based on the forecasted cash flow and the estimated cost of capital or estimated WACC, the NPV of this project is positive. Therefore, we will recommend going ahead with the project. This project, due to its positive NPV, shall increase the shareholders' wealth. So it's a two-line statement as a conclusion. That means you have understood it's not a robot, because calculating NPV is so simple. There's a formula which is given to you. You don't even have to do discounting. You just have to put in numbers, get the NPV. But concluding, giving that conclusion wherein you are showing that you understand why that NPV is positive. Yes, otherwise even a computer can do that. I can put an if or condition. If the value is positive, say go ahead with the project. If negative, then don't go ahead with the project. Okay, but it's a human brain, so you say yes, it is positive, but it is positive because of all the estimates. So you are showing the examiner that you are aware of this, that it is based on these estimates. Because if my outflow increases to, say for example, 900, then this turns negative. Okay, so keep that in mind, that this is positive only because these are the estimates that I have taken. And if I take my discounting rate to, say, 20%, okay, it will again become negative. So you need to know, in fact, in MCQs, sometimes they will ask that what is the impact if the cost of capital increases? What is the impact on the NPV? Is it a positive impact, negative impact? Okay, or else they will give you proper figures. Cost of capital increases by this much percent. What would be the NPV? Okay, so you need to understand it conceptually. This is the meaning when I was saying that you need to understand the concepts. You need not by heart or memorize steps. Okay, step 1 do this, step 2 do this, step 3 do this, because following those steps will only earn you certain marks. Okay, but if you want full marks, understanding a proper good conclusion, so you can just write it, that conclusion based on the estimated or based on the forecasted cash flows and the estimated cost of capital, the NPV is positive. Sorry. Okay, positive, 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 and thus it shall contribute to the primary objective of shareholders' wealth maximization. We recommend going ahead with this investment. Okay, so you can write that as a conclusion. Hardly took a minute, but this is much more, it's a much better conclusion than, in fact, in AFM, this skill is going to help you, because in AFM, you have to give out a big report. FM level, this is still a little extra, like the examiner will be super impressed by you. Okay, but make this a habit from now only. Give all proper information. You can also write, instead of saying that primary objective, you can just cut it short and say it shall increase the shareholders' wealth. We recommend going ahead with the project. Okay. This is NPV. Now IRR is all the more simple, is equal to IRR, bracket open, just take all the figures, okay, everything, including year zero, that is your initial investment. And then this is a percentage. Always remember IRR is a percentage. Okay, so 14.2%. So the moment I change my discounting rate, now what is IRR? IRR is that rate at which my NPV is zero. So the moment I change my discounting rate to IRR rate, see, NPV turned zero. So traditionally, or at least during our college level, when we were calculating, or graduation level, when we were calculating IRR, we had a big interpolation method. It saves so much time because they are not trying to test how good a calculator you are. Move on. There is a formula for IRR. Use it in real world also. You can use this IRR formula. But just tell us, okay, IRR is 14.2%. What is the meaning of that? Should we go ahead with the project or not? So then you will say, yes, you can go ahead because it is IRR is greater than the cost of capital. Okay, the estimated cost of capital rather. Okay, IRR based on the given forecast is greater than the estimated cost of capital. Therefore, we shall go ahead with this project. Okay, so you can write it. Again, label it. Just don't write this as a formula. Say IRR. This is IRR value. Make it bold. And you can leave it like this. Extra, if you have time, give it a shading, a highlight. So, okay, NPV of this project is this much, IRR of this project is this much. You have given a conclusion of it. Answer complete. Okay. Now, sometimes say you want to do a discounting, okay, but you want to lock this cell. Like you don't want to shift this cell, just put dollar signs. So say if you want to find discounting rate is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus R, and R is say IRR rate, raised to N. Okay, say I'm doing from, okay, I'll just do year zero also. Actually, year zero should not be considered. And now if I'm going to stretch this, my answer will be wrong. I'll show you why. Okay, everything is coming 1. How is that possible? Okay, maybe decimals. So let me first make decimals available. But still, no, that's not the answer. Okay, why is it? Now, when I see the formula, it is taking this cell because everything is moving. So what you are instructing is, you are saying that my IRR is going to be 14.2 only in that cell only. So just put a dollar sign, $B, $35, which means you are locking the column and the row. Okay, now if you stretch it, the calculation will be proper. Why? Because it is now taking this cell only, but it is shifting the year. Here you have to shift, but this need not shift. Okay, so this is called locking the cell by pressing dollar signs. Okay, so this is one. Another thing is square root. If you want to find the square root, is equal to say SQRT. Square root of say 4 is equal to 2. Okay, so is equal to SQRT is the formula to find square root. And then if you want to do raise to, okay, so say it is equal to 4. Now always remember, any calculations you need to start with the symbol is equal to. If I just write 4 into 2, I'm not going to get an answer. Is equal to 4 into 2. Okay, 8. Or I can't even do is equal to 4x2. Okay, in the platform it's working out, but in normal softwares they don't work out. Okay, so but keep it a habit to use the star symbol and not type in X. Okay, yeah, so this is multiplication, division is simple, addition, subtraction is simple. Addition, now there are two ways of adding. You can either, so in this case you could either do something like is equal to this plus this plus this. Okay, you can keep doing this, or else is equal to summation of bracket open, and then you can just do that. It's going to save you time. Okay. So is equal to sum of bracket open, then press the shift key so that it continues the selection arrow, arrow, arrow. If you don't press the shift key and just press arrow, then it's going to select only single cells. So you need to press the shift and Mac, I think it's command. Okay. And then you press the arrow, arrow, arrow. Okay. To select whatever cells. So these are certain things a lot of students are not maybe trained or are not aware of. But you should be knowing that because it is going to help you increase your speed. Okay. Um, so yeah, I think I've covered most of the calculations, cell selections, the NPV, the IRR formula. Now, yeah, I think we are done with the CBE platform. So use this. Okay, there is an on-screen calculator. So you have this calculator which you can use. You can even take the keyboard and type numbers, or you can use your mouse. Okay, there are certain functions over here. So get yourself familiar with this. You will not be allowed your calculator in exam. Okay, you can take a highlight. There are some symbols, common symbols available over here. So if you just want to make it, say, a dollar, you can just use this symbol over here, and you have the frequent currency symbol. So you can just insert this. Okay, if it applies only for text. Okay, so okay, anyways, nothing is mentioned, but yeah, you can use the symbols, you can use the highlight feature, you can use the strike through, not very commonly used. You can ignore it if you want. Then there is a scratch pad if you want to write something, some personal notes, because papers are not allowed. So there's a scratch pad for you, so you can write things over here. Okay, this is how your navigation is going to be. So how many questions are there? You will see that. And if you have flagged, so there is a flag for review. Okay, so say there is this is a question, you have flagged it. That means it will come as flagged. Basically telling you that you need to revisit this because you have left it. Okay, and then you can keep going next. Okay, so navigation, oh, I have to come back. I have missed out on something. So I have to go back to this question. So I'll just click on question 1 and I'm back to this question. Okay, I hope you are familiar now with the CBE platform. I've covered all the important aspects of CBE. Okay, we'll come back to our presentation. So this brings us to the end of the introduction presentation. So remember, practice, practice, practice. Practice makes one perfect. When you're practicing, you will make mistakes. You will make mistakes once, twice, and learn from these mistakes so that you don't repeat these mistakes in exam. Okay? Believe in yourself. Be confident. You got it. Right? Any help, anything you want, any questions, doubts, queries, any other assistance you require, please mention in the comment below. And I'll try my best to resolve. Me or my team will try our best to resolve it. We are there to help you all. Okay? All the very best. You will ace it very easily. So we'll end the session here. Thank you so much for your time. All the best.